Hey crafters, Lisa here from Thumbs Up Crafts. So glad you could join me for another Inspiration Friday. So we're still working on projects where we're using items in our stash or our collection of supplies. You know you've all got them out there. So this week, I have an issue in our house that we have a drawer that is full of keys. And I thought it might be fun to put together a holder for those keys. So as I was going through my supplies, I've definitely got some wood scraps on hand, and I've got these cute napkins. So this week's project is using these napkins, some Mod Podge, and we are going to create a really cute key holder that hopefully will solve the issue in our house of having keys just all dumped in a drawer. So I so hope you stay tuned for this week's DIY tutorial and still working through that 30-day challenge we've got going of using craft supplies that you guys have on hand. And hey, by chance, if this is your first time stopping by my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure you click on that subscribe button down below and make sure you click on that bell, and YouTube should alert you each time I upload a new video. We try to do it every Friday. That's why we call it Inspiration Friday. So give me a second. I'm gonna get my camera angle changed and we are gonna get making a really cute key ring holder. Let's get started with this project. So I, once again, am going through all of my supplies and finding all kinds of different things. I found this wood that I picked up at a craft store for $2.99. And I think I got it on 50% off at the time too. So, you know, $1.50, $3. Anyway, it's just a solid piece of wood. It's got some holes in it. Thinking maybe a sign. And then I love to pick up knobs at garage sales, secondhand stores. And then I also had some of these command strips, and they're for little holders. And what I'm thinking I want to do is, we have a drawer that we keep all of our keys in, and it gets messy. So I'm thinking I want to do up a little sign that I can hang, and we can have keys. And so originally I was thinking these little knobs would be perfect, but my key ring is not going to go over these. So I think what I'm going to change out to do is to use these command strips. But first I want to decorate up this board. And again, in my supply, I love using napkins for all different types of things. So I picked up these cute napkins, and I've already opened one up because I wanted to see how it would fit on my board. And I just think something like that on the board, and then put my hooks on and hang it up, would just be cute as can be for a little keychain rack. So what I want to start out doing is I'm going to use Mod Podge, and I'm just using this matte finish of Mod Podge. I've always got these chip brushes on hand. I actually pick them up at Harbor Freight. I buy a big box of them. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to put a coat of Mod Podge on the board. And sometimes I just say that wrong. Am I the only one that struggles with saying Mod Podge? And so I'm just going to put a good coat on it. And it's okay if it goes over a little bit, because I want to make sure that I get everywhere where my napkin's going to be. So let's set that off to the side for just a second. And with our napkin, most napkins are 2 or 3 ply. So I'd already started working on this one. So there is 1 ply I'm pulling off. And then there is a 2nd ply. And I do not throw these little pieces away. I fold them up and use those for cleaning. They're great little things to have around. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decide what I want for my top and my bottom. This looks like it's got a little bit of a curve there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to lay out this very carefully right there. Okay, and then I picked up some Saran Wrap. And so what I'm going to do okay, so I have it on there, and a little trick I learned, you guys, is grab some Saran Wrap from your kitchen. And mine, of course, is going to be Henri right now. And what you want to do is you want to lay the Saran Wrap over the napkin and smooth your napkin out this way. And the reason why I'm doing it with the Saran Wrap is that way I'm not pushing on it to tear my napkin. And you guys can notice that I have not trimmed anything yet. I just want to make sure it's on there nice. Get any bubbles out. And what I like about this wood that I've got underneath is I can see that some of my wood tone is going to be coming through. Okay, so now what I want to do is very carefully remove my Saran Wrap. And if you guys can see, I've got a nice even coat on there. And then I'm going to very gently pull my napkin. And I'm not going to worry about any of the extra edges there because we will take a sanding block to this when it is all dry. But I just like to get these edges out of the way because we're going to put another coat of Mod Podge on. And look at that. I could use that again for something. I just think that print is so cute. Those mason jars are just darling. So there we are. We're going to put one more coat of Mod Podge on. And I want it to be an even coat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry. Now a tip I would have for you guys is that if you're in the hurry to get Mod Podge to dry, you can put it in your oven at a low temperature, watching it very closely, of course, and that will speed up the process of it drying. It also, I think, sometimes gives it a nice hard coat. I like to make sure I get my edges, even though we're going to do a little bit of sanding here, I still like to make sure those edges are sealed good. And then I'm just going to go over one more wipe. And I think I'm going to put my Saran Wrap on one more time, making sure that I put the part that's already got the glue on it down. And then we're just going to spread this out one more time, just making sure that we don't have any air bubbles. And then we are going to let this dry. Whoops. Gotta be careful pulling that up, that you don't pull the napkin up. Just being really careful there. There we go. Okay, we're going to let this one dry. And while that dries, you guys, I think it might be fun, now that I've got that extra piece that I thought was so cute, I learned this little Mod Podge trick at our Christmas crafting event that we had. And so what they did is, I live by saltwater, and so we have oyster shells. And these make cute little trinkets to hold things. And so all we're gonna do is cut a piece of this, and you could definitely just tear it. And I really want to get the jars in there. And so what we're going to do is just put some Mod Podge right inside our oyster shell. Any type of shell would work for this. But I just thought this turned out so cute. I did one at Christmas time with a napkin that had bees on it, and it was just cute as can be. And I'm just going to push that in there in all the little crevices. And I'm going to come around those edges. And if I get it with Mod Podge, it is very easy to tear. Oh, this oyster shell is going to look so cute with this. This is such a quick and easy, simple project. We were on the beach last weekend, and this is actually where I picked up these shells. So not a supply I had on hand, but not a supply I paid for either. So, you know, we're trying to do everything with everything that we have on hand. And of course, now Lisa's got a mess of Mod Podge on her. And then what we're going to do is just put a top coat over the top of that just to seal it in. And I got a little bit of air bubbles in there, so I'm just making sure. I'm tearing some of it off. So what I'll do is add a little bit more in. And that is the cool thing about Mod Podge. So I got a little tear in there. So I'm just going to, except for, you know what, you guys, I really want those flowers to be in there. I'm just going to put another layer on there. Lay it on and add some Mod Podge. Nice and easy. And we'll let this one dry. We'll let the other one dry. And then we'll add some hooks to it. And we are going to have some cute little projects done. So I'll join you back as soon as we're all dry. So my Mod Podge is all dry, and I hope you guys can see how beautiful those colors have turned out. It is just absolutely beautiful. So it's nice and dry and it's nice and hard. And originally, you guys, I was going to sand these edges, and I really don't need to. They are all really nice. So two more things we need to do to finish our little keychain holder is, one, I want to add on these little command strips. And then two, I picked up for $1 at a garage sale a long time ago, it's in my stash, some of this cording. And I'm going to use the cording to hang my keychain. And so or key rack, whenever you're using this type of cording, it's always a good idea to burn the end of it so it doesn't ravel. So that's why I've got a lighter out, and then I've got a pair of scissors out. But first, what I thought I wanted to do, I grabbed my ruler because I wanted to see how I could get these spaced and get all of them on. So what I'm doing is just kind of laying it out and seeing if I can go like every 1.5 inches, just so I can make sure that I take advantage of all of these hooks. And it looks like they're going to be right about there. That's going to work out really nice. So with command strips, there's always 2 sides. So I'm going to go ahead and, actually in this case, I think they just gave us extras. So I'm going to go ahead and just put those on. And I'm hoping that it's going to adhere to the Mod Podge really nice. And we will find out. I think I'm going to go right about there. And I guess we'll really tell if this really works once Lisa goes and puts all of her keys on this. And I'll make sure I show you that. I'm actually out of my craft room today doing this project, and this is going to be for in the house. So once I get this all done, I will make sure I take a picture of it. Can't wait to see what it looks like. Because really, you know, this is just another example of using up supplies, you guys. As I was cleaning, I think I commented to you guys earlier, as I was cleaning, found these boards, forgot I even had them. And so it just worked out nice. I love adding the napkins to it. Of course, I could have painted it, and that's something you might want to do. But all I'm trying to do right now is just give you guys some ideas of some things that you guys can do with your supplies that you have at home. And I really would like to see all of your projects too. So make sure you're tagging me on social media. Make sure you joined our Facebook group and start sharing away. I think this whole 30-day challenge, I've had lots of good comments about it, but I have not seen a lot of projects yet. So I'm really anxious to see what everybody's projects are looking like. Okay, one more. We'll get this on. I'm going to add some string, and we've got another project in the books. I have to figure out what I'm going to do for my next one. Look at that. That's going to be so cute. So, so cute. So let's just add some string here. So I got to kind of, don't need a whole lot of it. I'm actually going to have this hanging in our mud room. And I think I'm going to want the knots to show. So I think what I'll do, oops, I think I should have burned that first. Don't want to touch it because it's, that plastic is just, I'm going to take it using my paper and there we go. Okay, yeah, I thought it would be kind of cute if my knot was on this side. I'm just going to do a couple knots here. If I come to this other side, do the same thing, a couple knots. And guess what, you guys? I've got my keychain holder. Can't wait to go put our keys on it, and we'll see if my command strips actually work. Look at that, all done. Just hope you guys can see those beautiful colors. Once I get it in the house, I think you'll get a good view of it. So thanks for joining me for another Inspiration Friday. I'll make sure I give you a close-up view.